We started this project about a year ago. Here it is. Here's our airplane. Doesn't look like much right now, but once we put wings on this baby...
Do we have sound? I think we have sound. Hey everybody, welcome back to RC with Adam. My name is Adam, and I got a haircut since the last time you saw me, I think. It's been a little while, and that's why I'm making this video, because, well, one, I just want to say, hi, how's it going? Hope it's going good. That's great. Two, is that I have not been putting out videos lately, as you may have noticed. I've been a little bit lax in my video production, and that is just because, well, it's because I haven't actually made the time to make videos. I have stuff I need to edit to actually make videos, but just haven't made the time to do that because I've been distracted with another project. And the other thing that I want to do in this video is tell you what that project is. So I'll just tell you what it is. My dad and I are building an airplane, and so now let me take you down to the shop and I'll give you a quick tour. So that way you can at least know that if you don't see a video from this channel, then that's probably where I am. I'm probably working on the airplane. Oh, and by the way, I have another channel which is about building that airplane. So if you are interested in manned aviation and that whole sort of thing, go check out that channel. It's called Jeff and Adam Build a Zenith. I was about to say .com, but that's not .com. It's just Jeff and Adam Build a Zenith on YouTube, and Jeff is my dad, and I'm Adam. And the airplane we're building is a Zenith. It's a 750 Cruzer. It's a two-person airplane. But I've said too much. Let me take you down to the shop, and I'll give you a quick tour. Come on. Oh, by the way, just a quick sneak peek of the oh shoot, the wingspan is like 8 feet. So stay tuned for that video. It's gonna come eventually. Ta-da! This is the Zenith 750 Cruzer airplane that we're building, and I'm just going to stand next to it for size comparison. So it's, yep. This is how tall it is. This is how tall I am. So this is the door right here, and wow, it's pretty funny to think that I'll actually be able to sit inside this thing eventually. Alright, so let me turn the camera around and actually give you kind of a quick walkthrough. It's a little two-seater airplane. It's going to be a high-wing airplane, so the wings are going to come off of there. And this is our garage that we're building it in, so it's a fairly small plane. It's not the smallest, but it's pretty small. That's the tail section right back there. And this is like the door area right here. We got our windshield, and then we got the engine, which I've been working on, trying to get everything hooked up. This is a UL Power 350 IS engine, and I'm sure, like, if you're just into the RC stuff and not into like any manned aviation stuff, a lot of what I'm about to say won't make any sense to you, but that's okay. If you have any questions or anything, let me know, because I like showing people this, and you know, if you learn something, that's kind of cool. It's gonna end up eventually looking something like this. So that's a photo of one that Zenith made, and it's gonna look something like that, except it's gonna be me right there. But it's pretty cool, because that's pretty much the exact kit right there. So you can see it's high wing coming over the top. But the coolest thing about this, I mean, just in terms of like kind of from the experience of flying in it, because I did get to fly in this when we visited the factory, is the visibility is just fantastic, because the door is mostly just clear plastic, and then same with the windshield. So it's just super cool. But anyway, so yeah, my dad and I are building this, and this is our first airplane that either of us have ever built. And sometimes I wonder how he talked me into building an airplane, because because he said he's been, he's always wanted to build an airplane. But I was like, Dad, building an airplane is, well, it's kind of, it's a little difficult. It's, it's kind of, there's a little bit involved. But I'm glad we did it though. I'm glad we started on it, and we're gonna see it through, which is great. I should probably mention that it does help a lot that I do have an airframe and power plant license, so I'm technically a airplane mechanic guy. Of course, that does not mean that I'm an expert, and building an airplane is definitely different from just working on airplanes and kind of fixing things and replacing parts and that sort of thing. But in some ways it's terrible, because it's just, there's so many questions, and it's just a lot of frustrating things and figuring stuff out. But in some ways it's really awesome, because basically I'm in charge of all of this, so which can be really overwhelming, but it's also very freeing, because you can, since this is an experimental aircraft, it's going to be like, the design is not really experimental, but it will be classified as an experimental amateur built aircraft. And since it is, you can do pretty much whatever you want to it, just about, and which is really cool. So I'm not really sure what to, I don't want to go super details and just put all of you to sleep, but anyway, so this is the, I guess I'll tell you some of the parts about it, instead of, you don't need to know like specifics necessarily. If you want to know specifics, that's great. Go check out the Jeff and Adam Build a Zenith channel. So this is this kind of back section is the fuselage, or kind of like the aft fuselage here. And it's actually just hollow, in case you're wondering. It's pretty much just air back there. Wait, let me get under here. So we've got this inspection panel right here, and you can see in here, it's just pretty much hollow. Or not pretty much, it is totally hollow. It's totally empty. You've got mostly air back there. This is all this is called the skin, the sheet metal, and these are put on with essentially pop rivets. They're special rivets though, from Zenith, and they're structurally a lot stronger than just your run-of-the-mill pop type rivets, and they have a special little like head thing, so they're special. And then moving forward here, we have basically like the baggage area. This is all going to be covered up. That's some of the workings for the flaperons. This plane uses flaperons, which I think I talked about in some of my other videos. I mean, it's for RC aircraft, and so that's pretty cool, and it does simplify things in some ways. So, and it's also just a really cool system mechanically. I'll definitely have a video about that when we get to that point of hooking everything up. And then moving forward here, eventually these are going to be seats. So a seat here, a seat right there, and it'll be a two-person. The pilot sitting on the left side, or at least primarily sitting on the left side. We are gonna, I want to hook up dual throttles. That's the plan for now anyway. Hooking up dual throttles. So, and then we have dual brakes as well, so it should be totally flyable from the right seat. The throttles are on the left side, because there's going to be a center control stick right in here, coming right out of here, and that is going to work the elevator and the flaperons. So flaperons are going to attach right here. I'm getting too detailed, aren't I? I probably am. And then we're gonna have some wires and pulleys and magic and stuff to get the elevator to work. And moving forward, eventually we'll have our panel right here. Our panel with all our instrumentation and stuff is gonna hook up right here. We've got our pedals, which are pretty cool, right here, the pedals. And this is actually a really neat system, just in case you're into this kind of stuff like I am. These are the brake pedals, and so the cool thing about the brake pedals, so this gold thing is the brake cylinder, the brake cylinder that you squish down, and then it makes provides pressure to the actual brakes. But what's cool is that they both pivot with the pedals until you press down on this part right here. And these are actually your brakes. These are your toe brakes. And then most of the time you just, press on. Why is this sticky? Oh, okay. You just press on the actual steel tube to move your rudder. So it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of a cool mechanical thing right there. And then moving on, we have our engine, and we're going to have a bunch of stuff hooked up on the firewall. This is the firewall right here. And this is a really cool engine. I'll spare you the details, but basically it works kind of like a car engine in the sense that it has what's called an ECU, or an engine control unit, which is kind of like the newfangled way of doing the engine stuff. And that's special because most general aviation engines kind of hanging around right now, or at least the traditional ones, they're pretty much running off of 1950s technology. So they'd have mechanical magnetos to produce the spark. They'd have a carburetor usually hanging down somewhere right here, and so you have to control the mixture of the fuel, control the priming. They also, they wouldn't, be fuel injected, which is, this has fuel injection. And so the great thing about this is you have a computer, just like in your car, you have a computer that its sole job is to make sure that this engine runs as good as it can. And it can do that a lot more effectively than you can, especially when you're trying to do a bunch of other stuff like, fly the airplane and that whole sort of thing. Anyway, so I've rambled on for quite a bit now, so I don't know. I feel like half of you are probably like asleep right now, but anyway, that's an oil cooler. I'm working on hooking that up. So that turned into a little bit more detailed than I was thinking. But anyway, this is our big old table, which is pretty cool. This is actually the crate that the airplane came in. And so we just put some of these MDF boards on there, or MFD, probably MDF. And it makes a great huge table. And these are our wing spars, which are like the main structural member of the wing is the spar, and it runs pretty much the whole length of the wing. There'll be another part that makes it a little bit longer. So they're going to come out to about probably right about 16 feet or so. Yeah, so so we're going to start working on that pretty soon. Dad's already been working on that, and I've been trying to focus on the engine to actually get the engine started, do a test run as soon as possible. So then if any other issues come up, we can address those. So yes, so this is it. I could just keep on talking and talking and talking, but hey, thanks for hanging out with me and checking out the airplane. If you want to see more of this airplane, go over to Jeff and Adam Build a Zenith. I'll probably put a link somewhere, and I promise I've got more RC related videos coming at you. They're just taking a little while. Feel free to bug me about them, because sometimes the motivation helps. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Watch out!